What's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to what happened immediately after JFK was shot. This is by Weird History. I've reacted to this channel a couple times. I don't know why I'm not subscribed. I swear I've subscribed to this channel before. I mean, obviously not, but yeah, I'm wanting to do more like history reactions, and I searched this channel and you can see I searched history. And yeah, I do want to do more reactions to this channel, but obviously let me know what videos, maybe from this channel or other channels, that you think I should check out based on history or just based on this random, random events or whatever. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd want to see certain reactions like that. But yeah, we're going to jump into this video. Links are in the description to my links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some more videos of mine. And yeah, I'm talking a lot, so let's jump into this and see. I guess it's how sort of events unfolded after he was shot. I guess sort of every sort of precaution that was taken, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, let's jump into this.
President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas on November 22, 1963. America and the world were stunned. The fallout of these events would have political, historical, and social implications that are still relevant today. However, those fatal shots were really just the beginning of the story. Today we're going to take a look at what happened immediately after JFK was assassinated. After that, we'd really appreciate it if you would leave a comment and let us know what President...
This channel's grown a lot since then. This is like they're like what, another 2.8 million like subscribers up from this one.
Potential topics you would like to hear more about. Now we go to Dallas, Texas. It was approximately 12:30 p.m. when the 3 shots were fired at the president's convertible Lincoln Continental. At the sound of the first shot, Secret Service agent Clint Hill, who was riding on the bumper of the follow-up car, left his position and ran towards the presidential limousine. His plan was to shield the president with his own body, but before he could get there, 2 more shots rang out. It was the 3rd and final shot that is believed to be the one that shattered the president's skull. After it struck, the president's wife, Jackie, panicked and tried to climb out of the passenger seat and onto the trunk of the car. It was at this point...
That can't be real footage, no? Wait, what? Wait, on YouTube? That looks so real. See, I don't actually... I've seen the footage, but I've never actually seen it. I've never seen him be shot. I just know about the footage. It's one of those sort of clips that you sort of see. I'm so baffled. This can't be real. You literally saw him get shot. I'm so confused right now. That's just baffled me. It looks so real, but I'm assuming it's fake. Now I'm going to come across as an idiot, but I don't actually know what to expect now, because on YouTube this wouldn't be allowed, so I'm assuming it's not real, but it looks so real. Damn.
At this point that Agent Hill was finally able to grab hold of the rear of the car. He climbed aboard and forced Jackie Kennedy back into the rear seat just as the automobile sped away. On the way to the Parkland Hospital, Jackie spoke to her husband. In an interview, she would recall saying things like, "Jack, can you hear me? And I love you, Jack." For his part, Agent Hill would later claim that had he been stationed on the bumper of the president's car instead of the one behind, he would have gotten there in time to save JFK. After firing 3 shots at the motorcade from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository, Lee Harvey Oswald hid his rifle among some stacks of books. He descended a nearby stairwell and, 90 seconds later, encountered his supervisor and a Dallas policeman in a 2nd-floor lunchroom. As there was no reason to be suspicious of him yet, Oswald was allowed to go. 3 minutes after the shooting, just as authorities were beginning to seal off the area, Oswald left the building.
Yeah. See you later.
He boarded a city bus, but the chaotic aftermath of the assassination had created traffic, so he quickly got off and hailed a taxi. He rode to his rooming house, which was located in the nearby area of Oak Cliff. The building's housekeeper observed him heading into his room and emerging only a few moments later wearing a jacket. About 15 minutes later, Robert Kennedy, the president's brother, was having lunch thousands of miles away in suburban Virginia when the phone rang. It was FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. "I have news for you," he said without a hint of emotion. "The president's been shot." Bobby tried to find out how bad the injury was, but Hoover would only tell him that he thought it was serious, and he would make contact when he learned more. Then he hung up.
Bro, imagine finding out like that. You've not actually been given the full details. You've just been told it's bad. You probably got the expectations that he's still alive at that point, but you don't know what to expect. Like, damn, man.
At 12:38 p.m., the limousine arrived at Parkland Hospital, and President Kennedy was rushed into trauma room number 1. Chief Resident Ronald James and his team performed a tracheotomy, gave the president a chest massage, and inserted an IV into his arm. But it was too late. 12 minutes after he had entered the trauma room, JFK was pronounced dead. The president's body was placed in a hastily acquired coffin, which was loaded onto a gurney. However, when Jackie and the president's entourage attempted to take the body with them, they were confronted by Dallas County Medical.
Okay, it's not real. That footage isn't real. For a second, I was thinking it's real, but I'm now assuming there's like a film based around it that just is so legit.
Examiner Earl Rose. Rose insisted that Texas state law required an autopsy be performed in the county where the shooting occurred, which was technically correct. Jackie Kennedy, however, wanted to leave and wouldn't go without her husband's body. Rose refused to back down, and the situation grew tense. By some accounts, the Secret Service even drew their guns to force Rose out of their way. Whatever the truth is, the casket was whisked away to an airport at Love Field, loaded onto Air Force One, and flown out of the jurisdiction. Shortly after 1 p.m., Oswald left his rooming house and aimlessly wandered the neighborhood around his home. At 1:15, he reached the intersection of Patton and 10th Streets, where he encountered a Dallas police officer named J.D. Tippett. Witnesses reported that Oswald spoke to Tippett through the window of his car. The officer then got out of his vehicle and began walking towards Oswald, who then drew his gun and shot Tippett 4 times, including one to the head. What the two spoke about remains unknown. Tippett had received a description of the suspect in the Kennedy assassination, but there is no way of knowing if he had connected the description to Oswald. Regardless of the cause, the confrontation quickly brought a massive police presence to the area. Oswald behaved suspiciously and drew the attention of a shoe store employee named Johnny Brewer. Having heard the sirens in the neighborhood, Brewer decided to follow Oswald, who quickly ducked into a nearby movie theater without paying for a ticket. Brewer spoke to a theater employee, who then called the police. Dallas police descended on the theater. The movie was stopped, the house lights were raised. A patrolman named Nick McDonald patted down a few random patrons and finally made his way to Oswald. When McDonald asked him to stand up, Oswald shouted, "It's all over now." He then jumped at the officer, punching him with one hand while reaching for his gun with the other. Other officers converged on Oswald, and McDonald got the gun away from him. Lee Harvey Oswald was subdued, cuffed, and led out of the theater past an angry crowd that was already beginning to connect him to the assassination of the president. At 2:38 p.m. Central Time, Judge Sarah T. Hughes, a federal judge appointed by JFK only months earlier, swore in Lyndon Baines Johnson as the 36th President of the United States of America. This would be both the first and last time that the oath was administered by a female. Johnson, eager to show that the Kennedys supported the transition, insisted that Jackie stand next to him while he was sworn in. Air Force One arrived at Andrews Air Force Base at approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The whole country watched live as the president's coffin was removed from the plane and loaded into an ambulance. Robert Kennedy, who had boarded the plane on its arrival, then emerged with Jackie. Finally, President Johnson exited the aircraft and briefly spoke to reporters.
We have suffered a loss that cannot be weighed.
At this point, Jackie Kennedy was still wearing the famous pink outfit that she had on at the moment her husband was shot. JFK's dried blood was still clearly visible on her skirt. This was not an oversight. Earlier in the day, aides had asked Jackie if she wanted to change her clothes, but she refused, saying, "I want them to see what they have done to Jack."
God damn, man.
On Friday night, Oswald was formally charged with the shooting of Officer Tippett. A few hours later, on Saturday morning, he was arraigned for the murder of John F. Kennedy. During an impromptu news conference, Lee Harvey Oswald told reporters, "The only thing I have done is carry a pistol in a movie. I didn't kill anybody. I haven't shot anybody. I'm just a patsy." Indeed, while Oswald's peculiar background as a Marine sharpshooter, former resident of the Soviet Union, and Marxist agitator created a cloud of suspicion around him, he maintained his innocence throughout his whole stay at the Dallas County Jail. On Sunday the 24th, President Kennedy's casket was brought to the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol building by the same horse-drawn caisson that had previously transported the casket of Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1945. Accompanying
I've just
it was a
clocked
funeral.
how quickly they decided there's the new president. That was what, within a day? Not even that. They've got a new president within a day. Jeez, that was a swift turnaround. Didn't wait any time to do it.
Procession
Fair enough.
that included the Kennedy family, members of the armed forces, and hundreds of government dignitaries and world leaders. Approximately 1 million people showed up to watch. For the next 24 hours, about 250,000 members of the general public were allowed to pay their respects. Despite freezing temperatures, the line to get in stretched over 2 miles. When the viewing concluded, thousands were still waiting and left unable to gain access. On Sunday the 24th,
I've seen this.
the Dallas police
I've seen the footage of him being shot. I'm pretty sure.
decided to transport Oswald from their downtown headquarters to another location at a county jail. While this was ostensibly done for Oswald's safety, it would, ironically, lead directly to his death. As Oswald was being led through the basement of the jail, he was shot by a Dallas nightclub owner named Jack Ruby. The shooting was broadcast live on television, which sent another shockwave through an already reeling nation. Oswald clung to life briefly, but then perished on the operating table at Parkland, the same hospital President Kennedy had died in only days earlier.
Damn.
While allegations of mob ties
Same
and criminal
place.
connections have caused Jack Ruby's behavior to be viewed with deep suspicion, there are also less conspiratorial explanations for his actions. Many believe that Ruby impulsively killed Oswald because he thought it would make him a hero. Supporters of this theory like to point to the fact that Ruby had been in the neighborhood to wire money to a dancer who worked for him. Based on the time of his wire, he would have required split-second coordination to get over to Oswald in time to shoot him. Moreover, Ruby had left his beloved Dachshund locked in his car when he sent the wire. It's hard to explain why Ruby would have brought his dog with him and then risked missing his chance to get Oswald by sending the wire if he were planning the shooting the whole time. Nonetheless, no one knows for sure. On November 25th, JFK's funeral mass was held at St. Matthew's Cathedral and attended by more than 1,200 invitees. At its conclusion, the casket was brought down the steps of the cathedral before the members of the Kennedy family. Considered too young to attend the burial, this would be the last time the children would see their father's casket. As it passed by, Jackie Kennedy whispered something into the ear of her son, John. Immediately, the boy snapped to attention and saluted his father's casket.
How
This
old is he, man?
gesture would become a definitive visual moment of the 20th century. Yet it could not have been easy for the boy. It was his 3rd birthday. After the
Holy shit. He's doing that at 3 years of age. Bro, if I was 3, I would not know what the hell is going on at all. I'm probably like, in today's generation, I'm a 3-year-old. I've just lost a parent. I'm probably just watching Peppa Pig or something. Oh no, but that's mental. How maybe she whispered to the kid, but even that's like crazy. Maybe I'm just looking at 3-year-olds and not actually understanding how heartbreaking it would be. I'm thinking as me as a 3-year-old, I just wouldn't know what's going on. But again, I can't remember being 3 years of age. So, but damn, so like aware at such a young age. Fair enough.
the casket was brought to Arlington National Cemetery in a procession that included the leaders of 99 different countries. While many believed Kennedy should be buried at his birthplace of Brookline, Massachusetts, a tour of Arlington caused Jackie to feel otherwise. She believed he belonged to the people, and ultimately selected to bury him in a prominent location on the slope in front of the Custis Lee Mansion.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, amen. Let us pray.
During the funeral, an eternal flame was lit as a memorial to the fallen president. In the year following the burial, the grave was visited by an estimated 3,000 people an hour. By 3 years
my
later, over
days.
16 million people had come to pay their respects. On May 23, 1994, Jackie would be buried beside her husband at the same site. While JFK's funeral held the rapt attention of an entire nation, Lee Harvey Oswald's funeral was being hastily arranged in Fort Worth, Texas. In a brief ceremony attended by his wife, 2 young children, mother, and brother, the presidential assassin was laid to rest at the Rose Hill Cemetery. The funeral was also heavily attended by reporters, police, and federal agents. So few family members were there, reporters had to be reluctantly enlisted to be pallbearers. Oswald's rest has been anything but peaceful. In 1967, his gravestone was stolen as a prank, and in 1981, his body was exhumed at the request of his ex-wife, for the purposes of verifying he was actually in it. Conspiracy theorists had alleged someone else had been buried in the grave as part of a plot to cover up the assassination. but dental records and a childhood scar identified the body at the site as Lee Harvey Oswald. So what do you think? Let us know in the comments
Damn.
below.
This is a crazy watch, to be honest. I mean, this channel is good because it sort of pieces together all these moments, and it just makes it easy to understand and stuff. But this is so sad. Imagine how Jackie must have felt. She watched her. Yeah, that's crazy. You're literally there, and you just watch your husband get shot. No matter who you are, that's one of those things I just can't imagine any human would ever be able to get over. Like, mate, that is just different level pain, man. Imagine how history would have changed if he survived. How popular was JFK? I feel like, from guessing, he was one of the more popular presidents in history. But obviously, there's people that won't like him, and there's people that won't like anyone. So they'll answer and be like, "Oh, I don't like him, but he wasn't liked or whatever." But in the general scheme of things, like in terms of popularity, how was it? Obviously, he was shot, so there was obviously people who didn't like him, or maybe it was just for, people would shoot people to gain not popularity, but like to get famous, pretty much. Maybe it was for that, but yeah, in terms of like his rankings, or at the time that he was killed, how liked was he actually throughout the US and all that kind of stuff? But yeah, that was an interesting reaction. I don't know what other videos they got. I got hiccups going crazy right now. But yeah, some of these videos. Oh wait, let's go. Fuck like yeah, just whatever there's here plus other channels or whatever. Yeah, just whatever you want me to watch, let me know in the comments. And yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, peace.